All right, here you go. Bernie Sanders swept the West over the weekend, winning Alaska, Hawaii, and Washington State by a big, fat margin. And he's still angry that he lost the George Clooney primary to Hillary Clinton. Let's ask the party panel all about those big fancy pants Hollywood friends. Katherine Timpf is here. She is from the Greg Gutfeld Show. She's the show's correspondent and a National Review reporter. Andy Levy is here. He's a co-host of Red Eye, both of us on Fox News Channel, and Meghan McCain, also here, Fox News contributor, and my couchmate today on Outnumbered. Yep. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks.
Good to see you again. Yeah. It's so delightful and refreshing. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're going to have so much fun. All right, so April 15th is tax day, and that is the day the big Clooney fundraiser is happening, where they are selling 2 tickets to the head table for $353,000. That's great scratch if you can actually pay your taxes.
Yeah, I mean, this is not my cause. Like, of all the things happening in the world and so many terrorist attacks, hearing Bernie Sanders talk about people donating $15 and $50, he's making just as much money as she is, if not more. So at this point...
Is it more honorable, though, to make less money from more people?
Yeah, of course. Of course. But Hillary Clinton's going to do whatever she has to do, and she'd probably, you know, get money from a dictator if she could legally, and I don't think it matters. I'm actually surprised that
worried about legal.
Yeah, I think she is anyways.
That's it. She totally is. I want to ask you, though, is Sanders right? Is George Clooney a great actor?
I think George Clooney's a great actor.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of George Clooney.
Really?
Yeah.
Solaris?
Yeah, I liked Solaris a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you did.
Very underrated.
That's why I brought it up.
You didn't know that.
I didn't know that at all. Now,
I don't tell very many people that.
Wow, Andy.
Yeah.
Like
I just revealed a deep personal
glimpse into
secret.
your soul.
Yeah.
All right, I don't think he's going to be the default nominee if she's indicted.
Really, you don't? I think what he is doing right now, he's doing everything he can, or everything that he needs to do to ensure that he will be the default nominee if she is indicted. Look, he's not going to be the nominee, most likely, based on the primaries and the caucuses. But I think by winning all these states and by staying in the race, he's positioning himself as... I don't think it will be easy for the Democratic establishment to say, oh, we have to give the nomination to someone else, on the very slim but greater than zero chance that Hillary is indicted or something.
And I think they're going to find out a way to give it to someone else. I think they're going to find a way to continue that third Obama term. I really think that there's a more passive disdain for him on the left, but it's not dissimilar to Donald Trump. Yeah. Okay, this is what I want to know about Bernie Sanders. I think that he has given up such an incredible opportunity to talk about her emails. Yeah. You know, if he really wants to win, if he really wants to sink her, stop treating it like it's a personal issue.
He doesn't want to be called sexist, though. It's always really tough to say anything about Hillary Clinton. And also, he's just he's a nice grandpa guy. He's just a nice, lovable. I mean, I've never felt like I could relate to a bajillion-year-old man like that before. I feel like we could get brunch, we could drink, and I would feel very comfortable probably sharing too much with him.
Yeah, no, and you would. You'd give some of those small donations. You'd probably end up paying for brunch.
I would pay for the bill.
You wouldn't even get to eat yours because he'd give it away to the impoverished family at the table next door.
Too mesmerized by his presence. I don't know what it is. I obviously don't want him to become president and take my money.
Yeah.
But
are we talking about Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump? Because I really feel like that last
it's hard to say. Oh, I don't think he has a lovable face. Trump doesn't. But Bernie, something. Maybe it's just a me thing, but it's got an endearing face.
And the last Friday, the National Enquirer printed an article claiming that Ted Cruz has had affairs with 5, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women, and may have paid hush money in at least one case. Here's the senator reacting to the smear.
This story is garbage. It is tabloid smear, and it came from Donald Trump and his henchmen.
Oh, baby, that's a little nasty, don't you think? Here's Donald Trump on Fox and Friends earlier today.
I knew nothing about it. I know nothing about it. I have no idea whether or not it's true, but it's likely he should try and blame me because he's losing by a lot.
All right, so there's the big losing loser. Trump also said that the National Enquirer gets this stuff right. At least in the John Edwards case, right?
Yeah, the John Edwards one and maybe 1 or 2 others. You can count the number of times the National Enquirer's got it right on one freakishly small baby hand. stubby fingers. But the thing that's amazing to me is he's outraged that Cruz is blaming him for this after he spent all this time blaming Cruz for that ad with the picture of Melania, which Cruz had nothing to do with. And he sits there and keeps calling, you know, Lion Ted says, well, you got Lion Ted and you got dishonest Donald. So what's the difference?
So which one is worse? And I want to know why now? The timing seems
You would have thought if
strange.
they had this after Iowa, right?
Yeah,
if they had this. The other thing is, in the John Edwards case, there was a smoking gun. I believe there was a photo,
Smoking
and they found him. They found him in like the Beverly Hills
cute,
Hotel. He was running away from the journalist. In this instance, there's nothing except rumors, and these rumors have been around for a long time. And the thing that I wish people would understand, and of course I'm going to make this personal and sensitive, but like his daughters are going to grow up and they're going to see this, and they're going to have to live with this. When they go to school, kids are going to bring this up and tease them about it. His wife is probably having a very, very tough couple weeks, and if we could just make this humanized and personal for a minute, if you have a real smoking gun, if Ted Cruz cheated on his wife and you have something to show me that's proof, fine. But this isn't real, and these are rumors that are happening.
I have to live with it now. Like, I think I speak for the whole country when I say that I do not want to think of Ted Cruz as a sexual being.
I agree.
Right? And now I have to.
And a little shorty robe.
I don't want, exactly.
Snifter of Kawhi.
You've also been thinking about it. That's fine. I don't want to know about it.
Does it matter? I mean, it wouldn't be surprising
a little bit. I don't care at all.
It's still why it matters.
I think it matters.
Evangelical,
matter?
conservative.
Right.
Because of the religious component, because he holds the Bible high.
I think if it's true, which I highly doubt, given the source, I think it does matter to a lot of people. I think there are a lot of people who will look at that and say that's not the kind of guy I want running the country.
Does it matter to you? Do you have a purity test for?
I'm not a fan of cheating.
Yeah.
So it would kind of matter to me.
Just character.
I mean, I'm not voting for him anyway, so.
But maybe they're in an open
relationship.
Maybe him and Heidi are in an open relationship.
Oh, could be.
We don't know.
Dude, Pinkalika Ding Dong.
We don't know.
Can't wait to read that.
They're definitely
story.
not in an open relationship. There's one thing I'm certain of. They are not in an open relationship. But I think it matters to voters because it's the religious stuff. It's because he's an evangelical Christian. He espouses himself to be of a higher moral authority than everyone else. And so if you are cheating on your wife,
Hebrew National
that's
hot dog.
Yes, exactly.
Very good. So much more with the panel coming up, including a new Fox News poll that says Americans are satisfied with 2016 presidential candidates, but a very large portion would consider going third party. A little later, Tony Robbins talks about 2016 and some surprising facts about Donald Trump, the Donald you never knew you wanted to know. Stay here. It's my fun dancing music. Welcome to it. So glad you're here. A new Fox News poll says 21% of American voters would seriously consider voting for a third-party candidate if the matchup was Trump versus Clinton, and it looks like it's going to be. And as luck would have it, a new Monmouth poll has former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson, a candidate perhaps for the Libertarian Party's nomination, getting 11% of the vote nationally. That is huge, and actually hurting Clinton more than Trump in a hypothetical matchup. This is very unprecedented. The Libertarian candidate would get such high poll numbers. Kat, over here, sweetie.
I know. I'm so excited about it. I'm just thinking about how much I love Gary Johnson. No, this is great because someone like me, I fit in with, nobody because I'm not okay with, the government taking all my money and everyone's money and making all these rules. But I'm like, gay people can get married. That's cool, too. Yeah. So, everyone's freaking out that the whole establishment's breaking down. But I'm kind of like, maybe I'll finally have somewhere to belong.
No, maybe this is the most healthy thing for America if it gets us out of this tired, static, horrible two-party system. And maybe Gary Johnson's our next president. Do you think?
No, I don't think you're not president, but I do think there's something. I agree with Kat. I've never felt more lost politically than I feel right now. I'm without a party if Donald Trump is the nominee. I'm #never Trump. Never going to happen. I can't do it. I couldn't explain it to my future children.
So in a word, you love him. You're supporting his candidate.
Yes,
has a poster over your bed.
But what it's exciting right now is many times throughout American history, parties die, which I think it's easy to forget. It just hasn't happened in our lifetime. So if there is a situation where there were a strong foreign policy, socially liberal conservative that was running for office, and someone who was actually pragmatic and living in reality, the reality that we all live in, it'd be someone I'd consider voting for. I have no problem third party. It's not going to be Gary Johnson, but I don't have a problem voting third party at this point.
All right. So what do you think? Are libertarians actually making some headway here, or is it just a reaction to psychosis?
Yeah, I feel like every election people say, I know the numbers are maybe higher this time, but I feel like every election people say they are going to seriously consider a third party candidate, and then when push comes to shove on election day, they go back out and vote for daddy Republican or a mommy
Some people
Democrat.
vote for Ross Perot.
Or they don't
Right,
vote.
but it
Or
doesn't really
Ralph
happen. But
Nader.
look, this
You're
is...
talking about a felon. And
No, I was going to say, this is even by American standards, you know, the lesser of two evils standard that's become sort of our norm. This is shaping up to become a race between Asmodeus and Beelzebub. So there is a decent chance. And as always, in that poll, 9% said they don't plan on voting for president at all. And I have to give a shout out to my fellow 9%ers.
Are you not a voter?
I'm not a voter.
Because you think
Why?
that your vote isn't going to do anything? Did
Yeah.
you read that Reason cover a few years ago?
I might have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I won't vote for president as long as the Electoral College.
Oh, that's I
You know
forgot.
that. Come
No,
on.
You've got
I bring this
the
up all the time.
anti-electoral college
Yeah.
fetish.
Yeah.
You're like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. They refused to get married until everyone could get
Exactly.
married.
Yeah.
But then they got married.
Yeah.
They did, actually,
Yeah.
before.
I think for women, though, it's very important to vote because a lot of women died giving us the right to do it. It's still a privilege in this country, especially if you look back on history. And I think not voting, no offense to you.
A lot of men died, too.
But a lot of women died. I mean, this,
a lot of men
really,
died.
like, but a lot of
Women are
died.
in
And a
right
lot of
now.
men died,
But
too.
women couldn't vote as fast as men could.
Women
Andy.
are the new
Women
black.
are in.
Not all women. Not all women.
A lot of women died skydiving, too, but I'm not going to jump out of them. I don't know.
You're not going to vote either?
Oh, well, I'll vote. I always vote. I love voting.
I believe people
love
died to give me the right to
civic-mindedness.
decide whether or not I want to vote.
Fair enough. I
Yeah.
just like I
I'll
still believe in
decide who
voting.
to vote for, Andy.
Okay.
All right? So we'll have a
All right.
discussion afterward. It's going to be John McAfee.
I will not vote for
You're-
John McAfee.
you're welcome.
I will not vote for John McAfee.
Would you write anyone in?
Would you write
No.
in John McAfee?
No.
Okay, very good. Then that's settled. And that means we have much more to discuss with the panel a little later, including a high school team dropping their nickname, the Midgets. Yeah, I finally get to say that on TV. But first, Tony Robbins joins me to weigh in on the 2016 race, along with some very surprising facts about one Donald Trump, a person he knows. Please stay here. Welcome back. So good to have you. A South Dakota school district has dropped the Midgets as the name of their athletic teams after a nonprofit group called Little People of America deemed it offensive. The school has now settled. The new team name is the Mustangs, although we do not yet know the size of their mascot. Our panel is back. Katherine Timpf, Levy and Meghan McCain. Andy, why midgets? What's the name? Sleeping old ladies taken?
I mean, talk about not instilling fear in your opponents.
I know.
The big question is, why were they calling themselves the Midgets in the first place?
It's awesome.
I mean, Mustangs is clearly a much cooler name, so yay, yay Mustangs.
I don't know if Mustangs is a cooler
Really?
name.
No.
I
Mustangs is a cool name.
Midgets is the
Pretty
best
awesome.
name.
Are you surprised that they buckled to the pressure?
I'm so surprised that this was actually happening for so long. But isn't that cool if you're a mascot? So why would you be offended?
Yeah.
If somebody had like a school name that was like single 20-somethings who feel like they know Keith Morrison personally because they spend so much time in their apartment watching Datelines, I'd be like, yeah, it is okay.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be protesting it.
Yeah.
This makes me really sad. I think that we've really lost something by having them no longer be called the
Well,
Midgets.
I mean, if that's your team's mascot, I think the Little People of America have to look at that and say,
Yeah.
oh, what a breakthrough.
Yes.
Finally, people are holding us up as the highest standard. This is an aspirational icon, and they want to be midgets. Hurrah, America. But no, apparently no one sees my logic.
I don't know why they didn't change their name to Little People.
Well,
Or the
that's-
dwarves.
Yeah.
Midgets is awesome.
Are little people bullies? Are they the new Black Lives Matter?
I mean, I don't even know how to answer these kind of questions. I don't know, like, that's what's so wrong about this. I mean, it's like, I didn't even know you could say midget on television. That's how politically, correct, like, paranoia we all
The
have.
great thing is, we're going to bleep
Bleep
everything.
I'm like, am I allowed to say this on television? And I think anything like that, which, I guess some people would find offensive, I guess. But again, I want to meet these people
Is there
where
a
I'm
more
like,
offensive name they could use?
yeah, I'm not saying that on TV.
Like maybe a football team's name?
Yeah, the Redskins, right?
Oh, Megan, God, that's horrible. Why did you say that? That's awful. How
you
could
get
you
fired from
suggest
Fox
that?
now.
Oh, man.
But honestly, of all the things going on in the world, how do you find this kind of outrage? Like, I only have a segment for so much outrage, and it's like ISIS, Islamic extremism, Hillary and her emails, and Bernie. Like,
Well,
this
if
is
you
what I
were
have
a
time
member
for.
of the Little People of America, you would feel differently.
If I would have known this was going on, I would have quit my job and worked at this school, so I could wear midget spirit here.
Yes.
We'll see if we can get you some.
Yeah, please.
All right. At a recent press conference in Japan, Leonardo DiCaprio raised the issue of global warming. Really? Oh my gosh, what a surprise. And is concerned about Republicans who deny mankind's role in it. He said we should not have a candidate who doesn't believe in modern science to be leading our country. Climate change is one of the most concerning issues facing all humanity, and the United States needs to do its part. Oh my God, he's so dramatic. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
So why doesn't he give his big fancy speech in either Pakistan or Belgium?
It's not just that. It's like, why don't you? This is what I want to hear from people of LA, because I lived in LA for a year and a half last year, and the hypocrisy when it comes to climate change is absolutely insane. Okay, this is what you have to do, Leonardo DiCaprio. No more yachts, no more private planes. I'm going to compare my carbon footprint to yours, because when you're flying around everywhere with your models and using much more than the average American is, you can't lecture the rest of us on why we don't care. And by the way, Hollywood, it doesn't work. Leonardo DiCaprio screaming about how bad Republicans are, all it does is make Republicans vote Republican even more, because you see how disconnected they are.
But you actually disagree with him. Doesn't it make you still want to burn plastic when you hear one of his preachy speeches?
I actually agree with him.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
I used the wrong word.
Well, I agree with him to the point that I think, to the extent that I think climate change is a real and important issue. I also don't give a rat's ass what Leonardo DiCaprio says about this or anything. I'm still mad that he won the Oscar for that awful movie, The Revenant, so I don't even want to talk about it.
You are the first person who agrees with me that that movie was so meandering, and there were some good parts and some good performances.
Yeah, it was.
Blah, blah, blah. But by and large,
Yeah, it was not good.
It was just
the worst.
stuff.
It was the worst of the nominated
I liked
films.
it.
Yeah, I
didn't watch
I liked it.
It was one of those movies that seemed like it was really good.
Do you? I mean, I don't know. I like being out in the wilderness, and there was like some oh, what if I was out in the wilderness? Would I cut open a horse and get in its body if it was freezing?
After you fell out of a tree, probably.
I don't know why he just didn't call Uber. Like, that's what the whole movie goes.
You had the app open during the movie for him.
I think Leo's just saying this because he has a documentary coming out about climate change, and he wants people to watch that. And the reason he picked climate change is because he wants to get more chicks, because it makes him sound like a nice guy. I'm sick of seeing his face everywhere. I also believe climate change is a real and important issue. However, that doesn't mean that I think the government should have all this power of adding more and more regulations to stifle my freedom, just because they're like, but the polar bears.
But I think you're right, though, because if there's one thing we know about Leo is he's got to work really hard to get more chicks.
And by the way, if he really hates climate change so much, then...
Before I moved to LA, I was a lot more open to climate change being real. And then if you are ensconced with this liberal BS all the time, I believe climate change is real, but I was so inundated with this sanctimonious crap that by the end of it, I was just like turning my lights on. I was like, I'm not going to recycle.
Running around spraying an aerosol can in the street.
Taking 5 showers a day.
Because there's so much hypocrisy. The people that preach the loudest are the ones with the largest carbon footprints. Now give the American public, especially average Americans, a really easy way to help the environment. Don't just lecture everyone.
Exactly, and don't sacrifice GDP, Leo. Coming up, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Megan, Andy, Kat, huzzah! Captain Sig Hansen and Sean Dwyer join me with a sneak peek of this coming season of Deadliest Catch. What monsters have they dredged from the depths? Find out. And in just a bit, Charlie LaDuff goes to hell, Michigan, to investigate a town for putting itself up for sale. Please stay here.